Hi guys, welcome back. Today, we're zooming in on a literally massive event, like the kind of event that practically sets the tone for the entire Indian stock market every single year. Yep, we are talking about the Reliance Industries annual general meeting. India's absolute biggest conglomerate has officially locked in the date for its 49th AGM, and it's happening on June 19th. So, whether you're already holding shares, looking to jump in, or honestly just watching the broader market moves, this explainer is going to break down exactly what you need to know. Real quick though, before we get completely lost in the numbers, and trust me, there are some big ones today, please keep in mind that this explainer is strictly for educational purposes only. We're simply unpacking the data and the strategy laid out in our source material. And man, there is a lot to unpack. We're talking about some absolutely enormous dividend payouts right around the corner, plus those highly anticipated updates on a potential IPO that literally the entire market is waiting for. You really can't afford to miss the nuances of what's coming. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We've got three main sections. First up, critical dates and dividends. Then, the FY26 financial powerhouse. And finally, three massive market triggers. Right, let's jump straight into section 1, critical dates and dividends. This is the immediate bottom line, what investors get and exactly when it happens. Look at how tightly packed this timeline is. You're definitely going to want to mark these down. First up is Friday, June 5th. This is the absolute strict cutoff, the dividend record date. You absolutely must own Reliance shares in your demat account by this exact day to get in on the upcoming payout, which is proposed at 6 rupees per equity share for the 2025-26 financial year. After that, June 12th is your voting cutoff. That's your last chance to actually cast a vote on corporate resolutions ahead of the meeting. And then, the main event, June 19th, the 49th virtual AGM kicks off at 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time, with Chairman Mukesh Ambani taking the digital stage. Now here's the crazy part. The sheer scale of this cash distribution is mind-blowing. Just look at this figure, 8,119 crores. That is the massive total dividend payout hitting actual bank accounts. If that 6 rupee per share dividend gets the green light at the AGM on June 19th, this unbelievable mountain of cash will be credited directly to eligible accounts in exactly 7 days. 7 days. It's a massive, immediate return of value to shareholders. And honestly, it sets the stage perfectly for everything else we're about to discuss. Which brings us to Section 2, the FY26 financial powerhouse. Let's dig into the blockbuster financial performance that actually makes a dividend like that possible. So Reliance is walking into this AGM riding a huge wave of really strong full-year momentum for FY26. Just look at these numbers. Gross revenue hit 11,75,919 crore rupees. To put that completely wild number into perspective, that is roughly $124 billion. That's a rock-solid 10% year-on-year growth. Moving down the board, consolidated EBITDA is sitting at 2,07,911 crores, growing at 13.4%. And profit after tax jumped nearly 18% to 95,754 crores. But wait, here's the absolute most fascinating takeaway for me. The consumer-facing businesses, Jio and retail, now account for over 55% of that total consolidated EBITDA. This proves Reliance isn't just an oil and gas company anymore. They have completely transformed into a tech and retail behemoth. And as investors know, tech and retail command way higher valuation multiples. But well, actually, scratch the idea of an entirely unbroken upward line. Despite those eye-watering annual earnings we just looked at, the fourth quarter actually did see some squeezed profit margins. Why? Two main culprits. Really high global energy volatility coupled with massive shipping disruptions. And this context matters immensely. This recent Q4 margin pressure is the exact reason why D Street is practically starving for what Chairman Mukesh Ambani will announce next. The market wants to see the strategy that steers the ship through these global headwinds. And that leads us nicely into Section 3. 3 massive market triggers. This is all about the future outlook. Based on our source material, the market's attention is laser-focused on 3 specific catalysts right now. Any updates on these fronts could unlock some incredible value for Reliance moving forward. We're looking at the Jio IPO timeline, retail expansion, and the new energy rollout. Let's break each of these down real quick to understand what's at stake. Let's start with trigger number 1, the big one, the Jio IPO. Notice the sheer, absolute dominance of the subscriber base. Jio platforms just had a golden year. They smashed past 524 million total subscribers. But the real kicker? 268 million of those users are already on the 5G network. Over half of them. Because they have this colossal, highly engaged user base, a massive chunk of the market firmly believes that a formal announcement, or like a hard, specific timeline, for the much-awaited Reliance Jio IPO listing is going to be the ultimate value unlocking trigger. Investors desperately want to know when they can buy directly into this specific tech entity. Then we have trigger number 2, retail expansion, 14,000 crores. That number right there represents Reliance Retail's profit. And what's remarkable is that they pulled in this massive profit while aggressively scaling up their hyperlocal e-commerce arm. So going into this AGM, the market is buzzing with anticipation for big announcements regarding their tech strategy. Specifically, investors are watching like hawks to see how Reliance plans to leverage artificial intelligence to completely dominate the digital commerce space and further optimize that massive resale footprint. And finally, trigger number 3, the new energy rollout. Remember that Q4 margin squeeze caused by global oil and chemical volatility we discussed a few slides ago? Yeah, well, that exact volatility is why this new energy transition is absolutely critical. The whole market is on pins and needles waiting to hear the exact commercial production timeline for those giant gigafactories currently being built in Gujarat. They need to know exactly when these massive facilities will start pumping out green hydrogen and solar cells, officially launching Reliance's next major era of growth and insulating them from traditional energy shocks. So June is clearly shaping up to be an action-packed month for Reliance Industries. Whether you're just here to scoop up that 6 rupee dividend or you're waiting to position yourself for their massive future ventures. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with the single biggest question hanging over the market right now. Do you think we will finally get an exact date for the Jio IPO this year? Think about the shockwaves that announcement would send through the broader markets. Drop your thoughts on that in the comments below. I'd seriously love to read your take. If you found this structured breakdown helpful, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications